Hey, you're truly DJ Sound Expression, and today is all about one important, urgent message. It's about copyright. Yeah, I said it, copyright. Check this out right now. We all see the guys on social media and stuff like that. You know, they're going to record stores, they pull a record and go and cut this track and take a sample from it and do the same with it in the archives and in the different programs like FL Studio, Reason, Pro Tools, etc., etc. We've all seen that. That looks so cool, sounds so good. The beats be wicked, slamming hard in your head. But the one major part that they don't show you, especially if they're releasing the track. Let me have a sip. One major part they don't show you is the release of that sample that they might have used from somebody else's record or album or whatever the case is. They don't show you that part that they might have paid money for to use that sample or anything. And let me tell you something. The day that you use a sample, nobody's gonna complain. The day that you hit number 40 on the charts, nobody ain't gonna complain, but eyebrow will raise. Yes? The day the song reached number 20 on the charts, everybody eyes gonna be just like, okay, that's cool. Nice sample, you know. The day you get in the top 10 or even the top 5 on the charts, all of a sudden you will start to recognize you having letters dropping through your doors about cease and desist and you owe somebody for this sample. And that's the whole long and short about copyright, because anything that a person makes that is called intellectual property, that is the owner of the person who made it, that's theirs, especially once they register it. And I'm no lawyer or anything, but let me tell you something. When a lawyer get down in this case, a lawyer does enjoy it because it's a very easy case. Very simple to prove a lot of things on the tracks and stuff like that. Even look at the Marvin Gaye track against the Pharrell track. You know, that was a big court case. Sam Smith and the other guys who was saying that his music was a rip-off or whatever the case is. Now it's simple like that. When you at the bottom of the pit, when you're making the money or anything, and you might just come on YouTube and do a little something, you know, show your friends, oh, this way you can make a beat and that is so cute and ain't going anywhere, nobody ain't gonna hurt their head over that. But as soon as you start to reach the top, I mean, they're like really tracks starting to move forward and stuff like that. Also, get a lot of traction and attention. You're starting to find tracks being requested a lot on radio stations and clubs and stuff like that. Then that is where you just really get the problem. So, for me personally, I try to avoid using samples by all means necessary. I never see it a need to use a sample. I always find another way around it, and if I do use it, I might use it as a guideline and then I remove it and then put something else totally different there. But it might be just something I need as a guideline. That's how I would work with them, because usually you have to look at who owned this song, which label is this song under. Is it BMI, Coscat, ASCAP, over in whoever part, and you're over in Baghdad, wherever part of the globe the copyright companies, they all more or less like linked together. So if you take a sample from someone's track, all you have to do is simple: pay to use it. But sometimes it be very expensive. So there are other things that you can do. You can work deals out and stuff like that. If you see the track looking at moving forward and going to the next level, you know that you could get this track pushed and you could really make a killing on it. You could. It's all about what pen goes to paper. You involve the necessary people, the lawyers, etc., and get the track pushed. You might have to give them, well, they might say, since you're not giving me upfront money, how about we work a deal on the royalties of the song? So every time it plays, you might be getting X amount of money for each time it plays on the radio station. Each time it plays in a nightclub or outdoor events or whatever the case, you might be getting X amount of money. And they'll say, okay, because of my sample, I want 20%, I want 30%, whatever deal. And that arrangement might work perfect for you. But it's better to do that, let the people know that you've used their sample, than to let them come and find out later, because lawyers love cases like this. Lawyers do not play on the copyright thing. So the whole copyright, make sure that anytime you pull in a sample from anybody track, you get it cleared first. Make sure it's written pen to paper. Make sure don't just take over the phone. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's alright, that's no problem. Don't do that. It's their word against yours. It's their word against yours. So make sure you get the correct way, I should say, of using the samples so that you have paperwork, paper trail. Everybody's on the same page, because let me tell you something. You could be screwed over, plain and straight. You can get screwed over, and you know what? It will be a sad thing to see that you work so hard on a track, starting to make some business for yourself, and then bada bing, bada boom, it all come crashing down because you owe somebody a whole ton of money and you didn't even collect all the money as yet. Yep, it can happen. So anytime you're dealing with using someone's sample, make sure you get it clear. That don't even him a here, him a Honda. You could get screwed over if you don't get that cleared. And they will wait until you reach number one, and then everything from royalties to deals, record deals, and other sponsorships and stuff like that came about because of that. They're gonna want a piece of that, because this sample is part of the track, and if you take it out, what's gonna happen? Track might fall apart. So get it done the right way. The other thing to that, a lot of people don't tell people when they're going in the studios. Let me have another sip of my fruit juice. Another thing people don't tell people, especially artists, songwriters especially, they don't know. A lot of songwriters, when they come to me with a song or anything like that, they want it produced or anything, so the first thing I ask them is, did you copyright your material? I tried to be as honest as possible and tell them up front, I am not touching material that is not copywritten. Go get your lyrics copywritten. It's cheap. Go and get it done. Go and get it done. Invest some change in yourself and go and get this thing copywritten, because it'd be a sad day to see that you do a song, somebody get whiff of it, it's a really good song, somebody else sings it, and then you have no proof that this material is actually yours, because that person turn around and copyright the thing, let's say 2 days before you. Who is right, who is wrong, who's guilty, who's innocent? Yep. And then that person send you a letter, cease and desist, and you can't even say that the song is yours. Don't matter how much proof. Some lawyer again gonna find a way to break down that whole system for you. So the thing I always tell people before you even start a recording song, don't let the hype and the energy of being in a studio get to your head. Do not do that. Stay focused on your target and your goals. And I can tell you, record labels ain't gonna like me for this at all, but this is the honest truth. Make sure you protect your interests first. Don't care if you're young or old. Make sure you protect your interests. Everything that you think you'll be sending out to the general public, make sure you copyright it. It's very important for you. I will drink to that again. So, taking samples off of people's records and out of people's sounds and stuff like that and using it, make sure you get it cleared. Make sure you get it cleared with the labels, the necessary people, their lawyers, your people, etc. Or you could get screwed over. I don't say song expression ain't warn you, because I'm warning you. And then now, as I said also in the second scenario, when you write a song, even if you think it's horrible or it's not your best piece of work, still get it copywritten, because you know what? One man garbage is another man's treasure. Another man might say, hey, well, like this here. Look at the song, This Is America. And then they got This Is Pharaoh or some other thing. Same concept. Same concept. you know. And that song was another problem child for the same guy who sang This Is America. So one guy's garbage could be another person's treasure. Copyright your music. And if somebody wants to use your music, make sure that you get everything. You get a lawyer. I tell you, invest in a lawyer. A lawyer can be a buddy right there and then. Because if you don't understand the language of law, law is not like the boy went down the road. No. Law is so complex at times that you need to basically, it works on Morris Code as far as I'm concerned. You have to have somebody who understands it, understand music law and stuff like that before you even think about doing anything with a song. You need to get these things revised, because let me tell you something, if you do these songs and they're good songs for another individual and they use them and they copyright them and you did not, especially let's say you're in a small country like mine in little sunny Barbados and you write a song and somehow it end up on the internet and somebody catch whiff of it, you didn't copyright it, and the person just try a thing and you say, you know what, you use this, you could get screwed over. And don't matter how much you think about it or try to prove that this song is yours, there ain't no hope there for you, brother B. You might end up finding that you have to spend a lot of money in a situation whereby these people might have the money to spend that money on a lawyer because they got lawyers on retention. Yep. So always protect your material. The other thing too, I came across Bolo, the producer. He made a valid point about I got a vehicle passing my area. Oh, it's a tractor. I live in a farming area. I convinced I live on a farm. Right. Anyway, Bolo, the producer, he did an article about copyright, and something that he did not like with one of the tracks he had gotten from the guys is they made one deal, but still yet in that situation there were other people on the track who also contributed to the sampling and the other instruments on the track who were supposed to get their rights also placed on that track. Now, when you're all doing things as a group, let me drink to this one again. When you're doing things as a group, make sure collectively the group have their ducks in a row, because it's going to look really bad on especially new upcoming producers that you have two or three people working on one track. They're all supposed to get rights on this track, and you send it off to a label, and then 2 days, 3 days later, this other person claiming that, oh, they want X amount of money also, and the third person looking for this is the deal that they want. Meanwhile, you've arranged one type of deal with them that it will be between you and the record label or whatever group of people you're working with. So, which means that could put a bitter taste in people's mouth when it comes to dealing business with you. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that your tracks, when you're sending them out, if it's, you know, there are 4 people that work on the track and all of them supposed to get their rights, you all sit down collectively, get a lawyer, get your lawyer, get a lawyer to make a final agreement on the track as one contract, so that when somebody gets it or whatever the case is, they can all say, well, this is what we have agreed upon for this track, and you could go and sell it to whoever and it will be under that agreement. And you could say, well, we have our song copywritten, there are X amount of people on the track, this is the contract we drew up between us, blah blah. And then that looks better on you as a producer, because you know what, you don't have nobody calling these people in the middle of the night or behind your back or whatever the case, stating that, oh, I did this part of the track, the drums is mine, and the sing that holler pan is is mine. So I'm looking to get X amount on the song for it. You already have a contract drawn up between all of you all, and I know you have presented that contract to the record label or to whoever wants to purchase your music, and then you all make that agreement there, that new agreement for what rights that individual will get towards your material, the four of you or whatever the case is. So you just gotta sit down and look at the copyright thing. The copyright thing can make you or it can break you. And trust me, a lot of people have been broken by it. And it'll be a very, very sad situation. So 3 things I touch on today. I am no lawyer or anything, so I'm just telling you, protect yourself. Protect yourself. So first thing that I touched on today was about the whole copyright issue, sampling from people's records, the MP3s or whatever, using their material. Make sure you get that clear. The second one that I spoke about was when you write a song, no matter how good or bad you may think it is, protect your rights along that. Go and get it copywritten. It is still your material. And then the third thing that we just spoke about is when you're all in a group, make sure you all have like a contract written up so that you all know where you all stand on each track. And trust me, when it comes to doing tracks, friends and buddies will be cool, but when business start to kick up and money start to turn, you to start to see the true sides of people. That's the honest truth and that's the facts. Many groups broke up like that. So look at those 3 things very carefully when you started to produce your music and starting to push your songs to the general public. Always remember, even though no matter how horrible it might sound to certain people or whatever the case is, one man garbage is another man's treasure. You might not think is the best track or whatever the case is, but then you might have used somebody's sample and the sample sounds real good and then the general public likes it, and it packing arenas, it packing nightclubs, the radio station asking for this song. Every minute on YouTube you're seeing a commercial pop up, that is the song that playing. You need to protect yourself. So that's all I would say. Remember, if you're using somebody's sample, clear the sample with the relevant people and get yourself a lawyer. Second thing, when you're writing a song, make sure you do what? Get yourself a lawyer and copyright thing, because the copyright agency, it varies around the globe and the laws varies around the globe, but most of them still have a general platform that I could say that or guideline that they basically use. And then when you're in a group or whatever the case is, make sure that you all have your ducks in a row so that when you all go to labels or whatever the case is, you all know what you all are going with. That's why I say keep getting a lawyer. Yes, it works out expensive having a lawyer, but in the long run it works out cheaper, because if something goes wrong, you have a contract, you have paperwork, you have things that you could fall back on, and you can see who's guilty of what, and then the decisions by the court of law could be made right there. So this is yours truly, DJ Sound Expression, saying like this is a topic that like a lot of people, producers, don't tell people about, but you should always look into the copyright aspect of music. Do not let the energy and the hype get to you. Get your material copywritten first before it goes into any studio or anything. Protect yourself. Always remember, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. So all I can say is protect yourself. Do what you have to do. If you use somebody's sample, clear the sample. Get the sample clear with the relevant people. If you're in a group, you making song beats or whatever the case is, make sure you all have a contract between you all so that every song that goes out, there's a particular guideline that things have to happen by. And the third one, before I get too old, it was the groups, it was the samples, and then when you write the songs, make sure, as solo artists especially, make sure you copyright your music. Because let me tell you something, if somebody get with of it and it's a really good song where you might think, that's just okay, man. You might be surprised the songs that you think that are just okay might be the headbangers, the ones that tear the roof off, and you might be more talented than you expect. But you gotta protect yourself. So before any of your tracks go into a studio, any song it leaves your bedroom or whatever the case is, make sure you have it copywritten. Protect yourself. And the best thing to do, don't believe me, go and sit down and pay a little money and have a little consultation with a lawyer, a music lawyer, one that understands the industry. I can't remember the term that you use, if it's a music lawyer. I can't remember the term right now. But along those lines, entertainment lawyer, I think it's an entertainment lawyer. But somebody who's within that field of law so that you can understand fully what can happen, the do's and the don'ts, so that you can protect yourself. Because there ain't nothing worse than you write something and the next minute you hear is a headbanger. It mashing up all the parties, the radio stations, it ranking on the charts. And when you catch yourself, you ain't make a cent for it, but you hear somebody make a couple million on it. That ain't easy. That's saying somebody mad. Plain and straight. So, protect your music. If you're using people's samples, clear the samples with the individuals. And the final thing, if you're in a group or anything like that, make sure that you all have a contract as to how music going out, what percentage of the rights is yours, royalties is each individual within the group. And the best way to sort that out, get the contract written up with a lawyer. I am no lawyer or anything, so I am not promoting law firms or anything, but I can tell you something, they're going to be one of the best assets to have when it comes to producing music, because you have to protect your music. So this is not even about production today. This is about your rights to your intellectual property. Bottom line, protect yourself. Copyright your music. This is DJ Sound Expression saying, comment, like, and subscribe, share. And we can see you later on. All the other details about me getting in contact with me, my Patreon, details down below. Thank you very much. Just remember, protect yourself. Drink some fruit juice. Get a good lawyer. A gone. Oh yeah.